Great, guys. So I think after lunch, this session, that too on a, as a security, which is low priority in India. So please don't, sleep. In fact, I would like to request my panelists also be a little bit enthusiastic on this subject. See, this is a cybersecurity. I mean, so it's like, safety and security in terms of systems, it's a cybersecurity. It's always on the top priority because it deals with your systems, your business, and your health, security, or safety deals with your life. It's a similar pattern. If your systems are dependent on certain things, you have to take care of that, okay? So I think to start with the session, I would like to, throw a small question to everyone. I think you all are intelligent people, must be watching some news, day-to-day news. So a wonderful example on the security today is what? It's happening day to day. You must be watching national television. So what it could be? Yeah, that's a bill, no doubt. I mean, it's a bill which is happening, and that's a good point, no doubt. Yeah, please. Absolutely, absolutely, that's correct. So from a national point of view, I would say that's correct. But on the international front, what is that? So I'll just explain. It's a war which is happening in between Israel and Gaza Party. You must be, hearing a lot of things on that. So a small question to you. Let me know what system Israel is having as a defense system and why it failed. So it's Iron Dome, right? And why it failed? Absolutely, absolutely. And this is, a day-to-day life actually. Why I'm saying day-to-day life, your computer is hitting a number of threats. How your EDR or your security system, behave and deal with that is your security system. So it's very important. I think, let's start with the panel discussions. We have wonderful panelists here. They are, domain experts in their own domain area. I think a couple of them are IT heads and one is, well-renowned CISO, Mr. Subhash. All are my friend. So it will be a casual discussion, but definitely in between you can ask questions. It's not that in the end you can ask questions, but please, during the discussions, you can straight away target to the panelist and ask questions, simply. Okay? Yeah, thanks. So gentlemen, I think to start with and give more insights, I have already given some insights on why security is important. But let's focus from the factory point of view or manufacturing factory point of view, whether it's a smart factory or it's a normal factory. I mean, today we are calling it as a smart factory. Everybody wants that word as a smart. So why it is on the priority and critical and important? Maybe you can just put some light to start with. Maybe Jitendra, you can start.
Hi, everyone. So good afternoon. So as you rightly said, a plain factory or smart factory. So what makes a factory smart is digitalization, automation, and exchange of data, right? Which enables many businesses in terms of efficiency increase, then getting right output out of the machines. But on other hand, the anomaly which or the challenges which newly going to be introduced in terms of cybersecurity, that has to be managed very smartly. How those are going to be impact on the business, because if anything happens, intruder or the data breach, it will directly impact on organization reputation. Plus your organization intellectual property, where most of the money you are spending onto the R&D, designing some product, unique product, selling into the market, if that is not going to be protected properly, then indirectly it is impacting on your reputation and investment as well as. Second point is data protection, because whenever the smart factories, we talk about the smart factories, a lot of data is moving from the machine to the other systems. Other systems are showing that into the analytics. If that is not going to be protected with right perimetry, then there are chances that intruder will come, it will steal the data, it will sell the data, right? So these are the aspects I think, so when we are planning a smart factory, needs to be considered in terms of cybersecurity.
That's right, yeah. Subhash, your thoughts?
Hi, good afternoon everyone. So when we talk about this security in OT, that is our factory. So we all knew that we have a factory, it's running. We are talking about security in IT since ages. I think around a decade, we have done various things. Before that, it was there, but from this decade, we have done multiple, we can say the products, innovations in the security at IT side. And normally we read, as our friend Ajay has started with the news, what is floating about the security. We read various news which are mainly on the IT side. There are OT side news, like Tata Power has got hacked. That was an OT attack. And then since from last 1 year or 1 or 2 years, people are talking about the OT security. So when we talk about the criticality, what the question is, earlier what happened, all your factories, it has got automation, what we talk about Industry 3.0. So we have automation, everybody has got automation. And that automation was in silos, means it's in some control room. It is not gone out, or it is not converged with IT. So the risk was very less. Now when we are talking that we want to have that data outside and do our 4.0 or 5.0, correct? The crux already, we have attended some sessions and everybody knows about it, correct? So if you want to do and use that data as the information and take some decisions from it, so we need our shop floor data outside to the OT in IT, and we have to see what is happening and we have to take some decisions, predictions. So the data we are taking out means what? We are converging our OT with IT. When we are converging, then all risk has been, we can say, exploded now. So what are the risks? What is the criticality? Is like, suppose any industry, there is a main thing. Money and everything is one part. Business is one part. But human health. Because that parameters whatsoever we are setting up for any industry, like I'm from a chemical background, but I worked in auto component for 10, 15 years too. In both the industries, there are various safety sensors are there, which that we will operate from some technology, smart factory technology. So suppose that has got hacked, what will happen? So there is a big harm to a human life. I think that is the major thing. Apart, there are various things, but this is the major thing we have to think over. So safety, sustainability are the major point in today's world. If you want to connect your factory, what we talk about the shop floor to top floor, Industry 4.0, connectivity, all are the same words, different terms. Same, we can say the same objective is there. So there, the major thing is that if that parameters get changed, definitely there is a loss to your business, loss to brand, everything is there. But topmost is your people, safety. If that is changed, something happens, what will do? Because you people might have read about the Tata Power also incidents. Also same thing in Bombay also something has happened. So there the power was down for around 14 to 15 hours, only because of the hacking. It is not proved that was some hacking, but all the industry experts, cyber experts are saying that was some hack, which is not proved or it is not declared. But that is the way it can happen. So that is the criticality is there. The human aspect is very important for that. Thank you.
Yeah, thanks. Diptikesh, your thoughts, please.
Thank you. Good afternoon all. Line रुक गया है, network down है. बहुत सारे लोगों ने सुना होगा. You can relate with me when you are coming to from the production line, IT support. There sooner than the later time, you will also listen or maybe you will also hear that line रुक गया because attack हो गया. We are near to the, we can say the worst part of the technology where we might face outages for the other production line due to some external attacks. And when it comes to line, it's our bread and butter. And I believe that is our priority as IT support. We are prioritizing all the IT services are made available and the production line is up and running. And when it comes to cyber resilience, we really need to think about cyber threats, how they are emerging like anything, the way you explain the Israel attack scenario, the way they are emerging, they are also the emerging when it comes to the coding part, the hacking part, the way they are getting into your system. We can also say that targeted attacks are also emerging like anything. So I think one of the aspects we really need to look forward that we need to have the mechanism built in to secure our production line or shop floor. This is what I'm
Thanks, Diptikesh. So I think everything ends with some financial loss in the cybersecurity. If the threat comes, attack comes, ransomware, etc., I think it turns out to a damage onto your systems and damage to the monetization basically. So I think I could ask Subhash to focus on that. So how this financial compliance, strategic risk associated with the smart factories, I would say.
So, as my friend has already talked about it, but mainly when we are saying that if it is connected with when smart factory is totally connected. If it's connected, if it's got hacked, your total production line will lose. Now there are a different different type of industry. If you talk about the continuous operations, I will talk on the continuous operation, which is the major thing here in the chemical industry. It's a continuous operation. So suppose something happens and if that particular plant has got down, so there is a huge loss just to start again the plant. If it is down, then again starting the plant, there is a huge loss. It's in like maybe 10 crores to 15 crores is lost just to start up the plant. If it is stopped abruptly. So whenever you're saying some hack is there and the plant has stopped, so that is the biggest cost to the organization. That is financially if you talk about it, correct? And other things are small things are already there, but this is the major thing as I said, because to keep this simple. Other thing when we talk about your machines, your predictive maintenance, if something happens to your connected machine and that particular compressor has gone down, so what will happen? So that is the losses are there. Financially is there. So financial loss is this, so brand loss is the biggest if it happens. For any limited company, it's a very, very big thing because that goes haywire everywhere.
Thanks, Subhash. Yeah.
I have 2 points to add here because the digitalization is not only compact or limited to the manufacturing, it's also part of supply chain as well. If any data has been leaked from the supply design which we have supplied to our suppliers, and based upon that, if he is producing a product, and if any abnormality into that, it will impact supplier's cost as well as our customer cost as well as. Apart from that, in day-to-day life, telematics is a buzzword which everybody is hearing, right? All the data we are taking it to the cloud. If that is not going to be protected, believe me that going forward, your insurance renewal, then your reputation as the RTO is depend upon the telematics data, how you are driving your vehicle. So these things I think should need to be protected properly from the cybersecurity point of view.
Absolutely. I think so. Leading to that, so Jitendra mentioned the right point. In fact, so we have heard SOC operations. I think every company deals with security department or their own operations with their own set of appliances or their processes, I would say. So maybe Jitendra, you can just focus. I mean, how the SOC. I mean, you deal with the SOC and you foresee the SOC operations in future also with the smart factories.
Right. Basically, how we are looking towards the security operations center, there are some guys or the systems who are monitoring 24/7 our environment. And that is very vital currently. The reason why any anomaly, any detection, any incident happening in our environment, they needs to enable or they needs to be in place to manage that. So SOC particularly in cybersecurity, I think so for the threat management, the threat which are going to be introduced because of the intruder entry into our organization, that has to be taken care properly. Apart from that, threat intelligence, because we need to be stay ahead of whatever the current trend into the threat, attacks, or methodology into the attacks, so we can proactively plan our perimetry. So this should be the part of SOC. Apart from that, because IoT, when we say the IoT, that is related with the devices and which is related with the vulnerability. If those are not patched properly on the time, so there are always a chance that someone will enter through that loophole. So SOC can also suggest you these devices are vulnerable and you need to do something onto that. Then security is not only limited with the IT function, it's everybody's responsibility into the organization. Now, how we can create awareness into the organization by providing some trainings, then providing some simulation attacks, providing some user awareness material, so that can be managed by the SOC team. So SOC is very critical part. Monitoring, detection, and the mitigation part should be managed by the SOC. Yeah, thank you.
And anything on the internal awareness or training KPIs to SOC?
Sure. So what we have done, or we are continuously preaching that to the HR team, that every employee should have a one, at least in their on track or their KPIs, to go through the training. And how we are identifying that this person need what kind of training. We are simulating some attacks, email attacks, then phishing attacks internally. And if that person goes through that attack, then the one training will get assigned to him. And based upon that content, the awareness will get created. There are some passing marks, there will be certification award to that person. This is for the enterprise, but for IoT kind of scenarios, or where the smart factories, there also we are simulating some attacks to see how people are going to be react if some kind of conditions will come into the future.
That's good, that's good. So I think I would also like to share some experience on this front. See, what I have started in my organization, sending some phishing emails to the internal people, okay? So what happens, I have a couple of incidents already recorded, and so with those phishing emails, we watch how people are reacting to that, okay? Which users are, inclined towards such kind of emails and then get attracted, response, etc. We have created a pool of those users, and now we have a further plan to make them educate on this front. It will, bring the awareness to the entire organization. So this is a preventive measure on the, forthcoming threat or attack or whatever. So such kind of things also, can be started. This is just one of the tip, from my point of view. Now coming back to the attacks, okay? So I have dealt with one ransomware attack in my career, actually, which was a serious attack. But unfortunately, from the ransomware attacker point of view, it was on the backup server, not on the production server. But still, I think we tried to mitigate that. Unfortunately, didn't succeed, okay? Ransomware attacks, if you see the success ratio of that, it's very minimal in today's world, very minimal. Okay, either you have to deal with the ransomware person, negotiate with them, irrespective of what money, how you deal. Success still depends on the ransomware, because all the cards are with the ransomware attacker, not with you. You have to just follow. So now taking this as an incident further, I would come back to Diptikesh and ask him, what could be the cyber resilience and where to start, in fact, that. So.
Thanks, Ajay. Couple of years I was playing around with a white elephant called MES, and that too Siemens. No offense with the product or the brand. I'm talking about the return on investment. When we invest such a good amount of money for the product, we should get the return on investment. And fortunately or unfortunately, it is unstructured when it comes to the output of the particular product, because when we are implementing such products in the shop floor, we tend to have people who do not have the experience working with these technologies. And knowing the fact, I'm talking about one of the OEM which I had the previous experience. We had a production line on which we were running on MES. And the people around who were handling the MES product were the shop floor guys, not acquainted with the good technologies or maybe the awareness of information as a security. Forget about the IT as a security, IT technology as a security. They are not even aware of what is information as a security or who is the owner of that. So that is one of the aspects where we can really get into that. So starting from the itself, the end user, where we'll be starting the basic acquaintation of the awareness where we are talking about the cybersecurity. And when it comes to resilience, knowing the fact, MES, again, we need to have the infrastructure available to make the DR available. When we are talking about resilience, we need to have a DR or backup setup available with us. But we couldn't make it out due to the lack of budget, since, as I said, the white elephant. And what we did is we segregated our production network from the productory environment in terms of where the corporate network is differentiated and the production network is differentiated. Where we secured all the ports, we can say manual intervention. We took some manual controls over there, where all the precautionary measures are taken care or were in place. making sure that those all the endpoints are not getting affected or the MES is not getting exposed to internet. That is one of the aspects we did. Then educating the user is one of the aspect. And when we are talking about the system, product systems, if you see the PLCs are also running very old versions of PLC. We had another PLC putting in place which can talk to the old PLC and then integrate with SAP and MES. So that is also one of the aspects where we need to really focus which are the applications or which are the products which we are using are adequate with the latest technologies. There are loopholes where we may tend to have external attacks on these products. Maybe you can relate with me on that front. We can see Windows XP is still running on shop floor PCs. The robotics PCs are still having Windows XP. This is again one of the aspects where we really need to think. But again, it also comes with a cost. If you want to upgrade anything, any old PLC or the automation system, we need to have a cost in place. That is also one of the aspects where business needs to understand what is the criticality. I think I'm making sense over there. When business gets aware what is the information security and cyber resilience and threats, which needs to I think they need to be aware what we are sitting on what it's a kind of bomb we can say we are sitting and it might explode at any given point of time.
Yeah, then that's great, Diptikesh. So yeah, maybe a common topic also I would like to initiate here. But anyone are having any questions to the panelists, you can definitely ask. Okay, so don't wait till time because discussions are discussions. So let it happen. Now coming back to the endpoint security or your internet security. So when we talk about a software, which is the leading software, which is in the business platform. So SAP is leading software or any other ERP is leading software. So similarly on the cyber security front or IT security front, so in your opinion, what could be the star software or star solution that you think or maybe addition of or segregation of the other tools combining having a good system? So just put some light, maybe it's a common question to all, you can contribute on that.
Okay, so irrespective of brand, I think so I would go with the methodology.
Yep.
Because whenever, first thing is selling a cyber security or information security management is a big task, right? Because that is not going to be realized by touch or feel. So I think so the way is to demonstrate the importance of that and how we can do that by simulating something, right? Simulate equal to realistic environment of manufacturing by selecting some PLCs, by selecting some HMIs, by selecting some sensors, put into the realistic situation, simulate the attack, show the outcome of that attack in terms of vulnerability, how vulnerable those are, simulate that data breaches happens or convert that into the monetary things like as how much loss it can get occurred if something goes to happen, and try to be very object specific while doing these kind of things, right? Because when information security stuffs, people are only thinking about the antivirus. They are not aware about there are DNS filtering, there are NOC system, there are IEs, or these kind of stuffs. So in smart manufacturing, I would say that plotting a methodology in right direction and getting agreement from the management is a key factor.
Right. Yes, what's your thoughts?
Yeah, so in this, normally my stake will be like this. We should, first thing, we have to give the awareness. I think awareness goes in the first priority because attack will happen. Everybody has got attacked or they will get attacked. This is like COVID. So resilience is important. So what is resilience? Means what we have to do is that, first thing is that maximum awareness we have to spread. Awareness in two ways. One is the end users and all that things, like my friend talk about the standards. So there are security standards available. You have a OT security standard, you have IT security standard. If we talk about ISMS, ISO 27001, we have CISA standards. Use that standard, make your policies procedure in place, have a regular trainings to guide your team. Another important thing what I follow is that whatever is happening outside, we read in the newspaper, we read in various social network, we should spread that in our organization as a learning. Learn from others' mistake. We are also one of them. Whatsoever has happened somewhere, I have quoted something about Tata Power. So that can happen to us also. We are not separate because it's a very big company. So they might have got their security system maybe the 10 times better than what we have. What I have, we can say, correct? So it's not that they have got attacked, so I will not get because I have got something or I am very much intelligent. Nothing like that. So we should see that something has happened. It may happen to us. We have to learn and we have to see what resilience we have to keep. My friend has already talked about if something happens, what is our plan B? That is also one of the very major critical thing what we should have in place. He has talked about the ransomware, its backup server has attacked. Now recently, one of the company, which is very good big company, they have attacked for this thing, ransomware attacks, and it has attacked not only on primary but also backup. It has attacked on primary and it has gone up to backup, everything has gone. Still that particular organization is not functioning at 100%. Around it is 0% for around not less than 10 to 15 days. Everything was standstill. Everything was manual type of things is going on. It's a very big giant. And now also it is still recovering from that particular thing because it has got attacked and also their backup system has got attacked. So what is that and why it has happened? What we have to do with this? We have to think out that it will happen to us also. Same thing goes with our OT, correct? So it's same everywhere. So if something is there, what has happened there and learn from that, go and study their particular attack. I know there is very limited knowledge. If something happens, nobody come up in the forum and talk about it, correct? We can't understand much of it, but at least think over, see something if you can get. So maybe 10%, 20%, 30% something we will get why it has happened. We have to work on it. And we already, our friends talk about the simulation. So what happened, why simulation is important when we talk about red teaming or breach attack simulation, why it is important? We said that we have one solution, correct? As the question was, what are the solutions, what are the kavach, suraksha kavach for our IT or OT system when we talk about it. But are that kavach, what we are saying, it is working? Because every day it's evolution. It's a totally security system is evolving, correct? The bad actors are actually more intelligent than us because that is their bread and butter. They are finding the ways. So if we have something called now, we are talking about the zero trust network. So we have kept zero trust network. He has talked about segregation. We have done segregation. But there are the ways that they will broke that also. There are the ways and it is getting done. And always think that if a company like Tata Power, company like HSBC, they are getting breached. Think that we are nowhere in that. So we have to see whatsoever we have, how resilient that is. So there is a required your basic thing, what we talk about, maybe pen test, which is very important, correct? So we have to do that not as a check mark, but as a must to have. Breach attack simulation, whatsoever we have, because there are nobody is 100 here. In this, we can't say that we are 100% secure. So whatsoever we have, how much resilient it is. If we attack it on that, and we will know that yes, there are some vulnerability. It will be there, and it has to be there. If you do something, and if you are saying there is zero vulnerability, means you have not done your job. It is not possible. So you have to work on it, and then slowly and steadily it will get. And always it will be there, you will see some vulnerabilities. 100% will get some vulnerabilities, but you should see that vulnerability should not repeat. When we say no, that we talk to our child, no, कि गलती करो भैया लेकिन सेम गलती 2 बार मत करो. Do the mistake. हम बोलते हैं ना अपने बच्चों को, गलती कर सकते हो, but same mistake मत करो, गलती से सीखो. Because when you are doing something, mistake will happen. So same thing here. So if you have got some systems with us, when we talk as our responsibility, we have got various security systems available, and we are saying that it's security system, when it was various things we have seen in the POC, everything is working. And at one fine day when this attack has happened, the basic system has got collapsed. Why? What is mistakes? So if we are not checking it, then that will happen. If we are checking that regularly, maybe quarterly, I think more than quarterly is not useful. It should be quarterly. Like some of these people are doing monthly also, but at least minimum quarterly we should do some checks that our systems are working or not to the all new threats which are coming up. So that is, I think that is the Guru Mantra what I use at security to keep ourselves maybe at confident level. Not 100% secure level, but we are confident that something we are somewhere at matured level. That's all. Thank you.
Yeah, Diptikesh, please.
I completely agree with you. When it comes to CISO as a role, I am completely in line with you. But being a head of IT or being a leading the CIO position, we have to work as a part-time CISO. And many of the organizations you also relate with me, we have to work as a part-time CISO. And the business needs to understand CISO is not a part-time job. It's a completely a different portfolio, can be handled by the IT as a accountability can be held. But this position itself needs to be accountable, made available, and business needs to know what exactly the information security or the cyber threat or cyber topic is and where it can impact the business. I believe this is one of the aspects where we need to really get into make business aware what we are into and what needs to be done. And the seriousness needs to be passed on. So business needs to be made aware what are the corrective actions needs to be taken. I think one of the aspects I like to highlight over here, that is the business awareness, apart from the end user awareness.
Exactly.
I have to add something with this. I was remember. Recently, I think 2 days back, I read one article where they said 72%, I repeat, 72% attacks are main reason of that attack. What they have found is it's a Tenable who has given that particular research. It is available on LinkedIn. They said the major reason is in an organization there are IT and security. It's two different, what he said. Because alone security couldn't work. Security is working for all the departments. And major part is your IT because it's a automation, it's a technology, correct? So the 72% is fails because IT has got its own KPI. It has got its own, we can say, the focus area that they have to complete. And CISO security has got different area. Because of that, this has happened because major issues, we can say, it's in IT because it's the same. CISO is part, actually it's of IT, same thing. But if IT doesn't work with them and doesn't follow the same path, or some of the KPIs, what we talk in the organization, KPI, KRA, correct? Your scorecards, various type of scorecards. If IT doesn't have that, some weightage into it, it will be a problem. So they have mentioned it, 72% problem has came because of this. So whatever is coming from that 72% only because of the company internal IT and security is not in line.
Thank you.
Yeah, so rightly said, Subhash, actually. But just to, from the audience point of view, what you think like the internal threat and external threat, okay? So when I talk about internal threat, I think it's your own users, it's your own systems. And when we talk about external threats, then of course, the entire world. So how you differentiate the threat percentage here with respect to the factories or the companies basically, and where to focus more? All of three. I mean, you can start, Jitendra.
Yeah. So first thing, because
Just
I will
only couple of minutes.
yeah,
to
sure.
everyone. Okay.
I will segregate in two, three types. One is user behavior. Second one is the vulnerabilities with software and the hardware. Software, hardware vulnerability we can control. We do have a patches. We do have a right systems to monitor. But user behavior is if user are going to hit unwanted sites, if he is downloading unwanted data, if he is playing with some tools which is going to be create a vulnerability into the system. So 60% I would say a contribution or the concentration area is user behavior. And the rest 40% for internal is your systems application and the architecture, how you plot. And for external world is open to for the attack, so no control on that, 100% vulnerable. If your systems are exposed, if your data is export available on darknet or something, anybody can go and buy that and play with your data. Yeah.
Right. Yes, Subhash.
So I think you are talking about the internal threats and external threats.
Correct.
So here internal threats are around more than 80 to 90%. External is 10%. Why? But why external comes? There is some loopholes from our internal team has happened. So the root cause is internal. So you might have read, so same case what I have said about the big giant who has got a ransomware attack. Reason, what is the root cause? Was one of the employee of that organization has got blackmailed by the ransomware attacker. You might have read, I don't know. He has got blackmailed. One of the administrator of that organization, it's a very big organization. I'm saying blackmailed. Huh? So then he has given his whatsoever credentials are there, and that way it's a big giant who has got all security in place, whatsoever securities are there, but it has got hacked. So this has gone to internal. So maybe because of whatsoever reason why he has got blackmailed, what has happened. So see the way at what level people are going, what level your bad actors are going. So they have found out a person, the important person, administrator of that organization, and they have blackmailed and just taken the credential. And then they have done. So this way is already happening. So we know that majority part is of internal. So I have given a thrust on our internal employees awareness, giving them see what sort of technology we have to do. We have to do the resilience. But the main root cause or the basic thing comes from the internal, and then whatsoever external guys get, they get the hints from internal side only. So I will give around 80% internal threat and maybe 20% only external threat.
I'm in completely agreement with you. Internal threats are more, considering the user behavior, user aspects of dealing with the information. I believe this is what the percentage is. And the bad guys, bad cops are there to make you aware they are there. And they will make sure that they will find some loopholes, like koi darwaja khula hai, aage andar. Kind of scenario, the way you explain it's yes. So if you keep the door open, the bad cops are going to be there. So mind your security businesses and the loopholes what we have. Thank
Absolutely, absolutely. So I think, as rightly said by the experts, the internal threat is, more dangerous actually. So leading to that, I would say, it's not only about the business or the manufacturing, smart factory, cybersecurity, but a small note like, take care of your own individual security also. We deal with a device called, this mobile. It is, Android or iOS, doesn't make, one has already, explained on the iPhone capturing or this thing. So keep the security of your self phone also intact. Read certain things technically and bind that security to your mobile phone, which is your individual security. And of course, if anyone have question on the smart factory or cyber security, please. Just I think couple of questions we can definitely take. Anybody is having mic, please, there? Yes, one gentleman is having question.
Hello. Yeah, my question, first of all, thanks for giving a valuable insight. In the first half, we all are motivated by using Industry 4, Industry 5. And in the second half, the session start with kind of a threat. So whether cybersecurity can be a threat for implementation of Industry 4 or Industry 5? If yes, what level it will basically influence? And do we have any kind of a standards where it will not degrowth the Industry 4, Industry 5?
Subhash or?
Yeah. So, yeah. See, when we say that we want to improve, we want to do some new thing, definitely there are the threats. So if you are talking that we want to do Industry 4.0 or 5.0, that is your connected factory, smart factory, correct, top floor to shop floor, whatsoever you want to say, and we want to go ahead. So risk should be there. This is the risk. So we have to mitigate the risk. So if you talk about why Means I will just give, because you said about first portion is of Industry 4.0 smart factory, and then we are talking about security. Because without having taken care of your security, cyber security, you can't go for any smart factory, or if you go without taking care of this, it will definitely fail, and it will miserably fail. So, and standards, what I already told about you, the standards are there, industry standards are there, IEEE, I think 4442 or something are there, which standards says us that how your system should be there, how it has to be segregated, how that data should go, which type of port should be used, everything is mentioned there. And in any case, any industry if you want to work, if you talk about this smart factory, the last word I can say, as you said, should we go or not to go? If you go, what will happen? So I think there is, as of now, we are talking about something smart factory or this thing. Maybe after 5 years or 10 years, you can't say, but if you are not smart, you can't be in a business. So it is a mandate. It is a mandatory. Now we are saying that we are doing something. We are attaching the, we are making our top floor, shop floor to top floor, connected device, correct? We can't keep that isolate, and that is a fact. So it is not a choice. Maybe you can sustain for next 5 years, but business can't sustain without having this type of systems in place. So you have to work on that system plus take care of security. Both things are required.
Thanks, Subhash. I think we have already out of time, unfortunately. So she has, maybe she can ask. Or if
one last question, okay?
So I loved the discussion here. It was very intensive rather, and I think all of you brought great points in. I see the user behavior is one important part. If I just want all of you are here. If you had a ranking, I think when Ajay asked about specifically, can you have a star product? None of you answered about a star product. You told about the process being important, the user behavior, and the general, awareness being important, and simulations. So if you had to rank, the 4 of you, I won't ask the whole team to rank, but what would you rank first? It's processes.
We can't talk about a product name here. It's not correct
I agree.
to talk.
I'm just
correct.
saying, how would you rank
Concept
processes?
we can talk about, but product, we can't say that Cisco or Juniper or maybe Microsoft. But product name we should not talk. That's what we
I
feel.
am asking to rank between processes, user behavior, that being important in the rank of 1, 2, 3, and the third is, simulation. I love the concept of simulation. Why is it not happening? That's my second subset question. But yeah, among the 3, so where would you rank? Sourabh, your points were really interesting. Which one is first? Processes, I think, for you.
So for me, the process comes first because any organization which is process-based is more successful than the random choose of selection of steps and activities. That is the process first. Aligned to that process, what are the simulation activities or steps we are planning periodically? That is the second step. And user behavior is the third for me. The reason why, if these 2 pillars has been taken care, automatically some portion or risk associated to the user behavior is going to be taken care. And the user behavior can be mitigated through the awareness and training.
Yeah, Diptikesh, you have a different score.
Yeah. So having a laptop is no more a luxury today. It's just a basic hygiene. Having a toilet paper in the toilet is the hygiene. Same way, the laptop has to be on the desk or made available. On the similar note, we need to understand security is also one of the aspects, which is a basic hygiene, needs to be followed by every individual, be it your UPI phone, or UPI payment, your OTP, or being in the smart factories. I think the basic hygiene needs to be maintained.
Yeah. Great. Thank you. I have much more questions. I will take it individually.
Thanks all. Thanks, gentlemen.